Hey Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. We've got another B550 board to check out today. We're checking out the ASUS ROG Strix B550F Gaming Wi-Fi. Now, I think we're gonna try and do one motherboard a week so we don't slowly turn into a motherboard channel. And as usual, ladies and gents, with these motherboard overviews, they are not reviews, so roll that intro. As usual with these videos, ladies and gents, they're not reviews, they're just overviews so you can get an idea of the feature set with these boards and everything that physically comes in the box. I'll leave the decisions about whether or not a motherboard is good or not completely up to you. That's kind of the point of these videos. I don't really like to put my opinion into them, and a lot of people ask why we even bother doing these. It's because no one else does these kind of videos. Anyway, let's find out what it's all about. Alright ladies and gents, let's take a bit of a look at the ROG Strix B550F Gaming Wi-Fi. But as usual, let's get the motherboard out of the box so we can take a bit of a closer look at all of the other things that come with this brand new motherboard. First off, we've got this. This is the Wi-Fi 6 or the Wi-Fi AX antenna. This is a pretty standard antenna for most ASUS boards. Next up, we've got this addressable RGB adapter cable. There's also a set of SATA or SATA cables for your 2.5-inch SSDs or your spinning Rust drives, also a pretty standard addition. There's some mounting gear for the two M.2 slots on this board, which we'll take a little bit of a look at a little bit later on in the video. There's also some zip ties. Yes, these are called zip ties, not tweezers. They're either called zip ties or cable ties, to be honest, but yeah, someone tried to call them tweezers and I was a little bit confused. I've never heard that term before, but yeah, they're zip ties. There's also this round circular plastic device with some files on it that you actually can't access anyway. Please give us USB sticks. The more I complain, the more we're going to get them eventually. Next up, we've got this sheet of ROG Strix stickers for those who dare. See what I did there? Right, that's the sticker if you couldn't read that bit. And there's also the motherboard quick start guide. This is basically just to help you with socketing the CPU and getting a stock cooler on the motherboard. Pretty standard stuff here. There's also this little card that is a welcome card that reads, "Thank you for purchasing this ROG Strix product. You've made the choice of champions. To learn more about our passion for gaming and to receive news about the latest ROG innovations and offers, check out Armory Crate, our vibrant new one-stop information hub on the Microsoft Store." Next up, we've got the user guide. This is a handy bit of documentation if you've never built before, or even if you've built hundreds of times. It basically shows you where everything is on the board, all the BIOS settings, and basically everything to get up and running. Alright, it's time to unsheath that brand new motherboard so we can take a bit of a closer look at the ROG Strix B550F Gaming Wi-Fi. First up, we've got the front panel audio connector. There's also a Thunderbolt header if you have an additional add-in card to add Thunderbolt connectivity. There's a 12-volt RGB header. There's a 5-volt 3-pin addressable RGB header. There's some sensor headers. There's a PWM fan header. There's two USB 2.0 headers for legacy things like AIOs and coolers and some more RGB types of stuff. There's also another PWM fan connector and the front panel connector for all your lights and all your switches to tell you that your PC is either on or to turn it on. There's 6 SATA or SATA ports for your 2.5-inch SSDs or your spinning Rust drives. There's a USB 3.2 header. There's also a 24-pin power connector to send all of the juice to your brand new motherboard. And there's also an array of LEDs for diagnostics. So instead of them having a postcode LED screen, they have these 4 lights to tell you what's going on. There's a 4-pin RGB header as well as 2 PWM fan connectors. And towards the top left or the right, if you're looking at this clip, 2 EPS power connectors, one's an 8-pin and one is a 4-pin. There's 2 by 16 sized PCIe slots on this board. The top one is a by 16 slot, the lower one or the one towards the center is a by 4 slot, and there's 3 by 1 slots on the board as well. Because this is B550, it doesn't have an actively cooled chipset, it's just got a giant heatsink on top to passively cool the B550 chipset. The VRM setup on this board is a 12+2 phase digital VRM setup. There's a giant heatsink on the top side of the board and one that actually goes underneath the IO shield as well to help cool all of those MOSFETs. There's a standard AM4 socket that supports Ryzen 3000 CPUs and above. It does not support the 3200G or 3400G, however it will support later APUs. There's 2 more PWM fan connectors next to the socket for the AIO connector and a CPU fan connector. if we flip the board over, you'll notice there's not a lot going on back here. There's the standard AM4 socket cooler mounting backplate, and yeah, that's about it. But let's speed it up a little bit and take the heat sinks off the M.2 slot so we can take a little bit of a closer look at the M.2 setup. There's a M.2 slot towards the top, which is a PCIe Gen 4 M.2 slot that will give you full speeds, and the one towards the bottom is a PCIe Gen 3 M.2 slot. There's 4 DDR4 RAM slots which support a total of 128 gigs of RAM at 4600 MHz overclocked. For rear I/O, there's a bunch of USB ports, there's a BIOS flashback button, there's USB Type-C and USB 3.2, there's 2.5 gigabit Ethernet and some more USB, there's a DisplayPort connector and an HDMI connector if you were to be using an APU, there's antenna connectors for the Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi AX built in, there's also 7.1 digital surround sound with SPDIF and optical output and an integrated I/O shield. But you know what time it is? It's time to visit our friends over at Peel Corp and take off this single bit of plastic on the motherboard so we can do some B-roll. You guys ready? Let's do it.
Maybe I'm going crazy again. Like if it doesn't work out, I just want you to know that I wasn't there for you. I just want you to know that I wasn't there for you. I just want you to know that I wasn't there for you. I just want you to know that I wasn't there for you. I just want you to know that I wasn't there for you. I just want you to know that I wasn't there for you. I just want you to know that I wasn't there for you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this first look and overview of the ASUS ROG Strix B550F gaming Wi-Fi. Now, we do put affiliate links in the description of these videos because it helps keep the channel running, and if you wanted to grab one of these, we do have links in the description down below. They're going for around 329 Australian dollars or around 210 US dollars at the time of filming this video. And again, I just wanted to address something with these videos. The reason why we do them is because there's not a lot of people that actually do it the way that we do it, and we try and give you information that is actually relevant to purchasing a motherboard. The VRMs and all that stuff isn't really that important, and ultimately it's not going to change the experience of you using a motherboard. And that's me being absolutely brutally honest to you guys about all this stuff. A few years ago, no one even bothered talking about it. It's just a nice topic to know stuff about, but ultimately it doesn't really affect the quality of a motherboard for a regular user, and that's the bottom line. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you hated everything I said, consider hitting that dislike button twice. And if you want to support the channel, there's a join button down below, and you can get early access to videos just like this one right here over on Floatplane. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers. You peek, we seek. And Claire really likes the look of this board. She was like, can I fit this into my computer? And I said, no, you cannot. And then she said, do they make an ITX version of this board that looks exactly the same? And I said, I don't know. I haven't looked. Do they? I don't know. You can Google it.
Probably.
They probably do. I don't pay attention too much. Yeah.
Maybe I need to build a new computer.
Ooh, maybe we should build Claire a new computer. It's about that time. It's been about a year since you've had a new PC, right? What do you got now? 9900K still? You still got that 9900K NZXT H210i build that's got like 4 billion views. And people are like, oh, the RAM's red. It's like, it's so funny actually, guys, like while I've got you here, people love to complain about things that either we don't have control over or they don't have control over. And if a brand sends you 32 gigs of RAM that's red for free, you don't complain about it. You use it because it didn't cost anything.
Yeah, I'm not fussy. If someone wants to give me something I can use to work, I'm going to take it
Exactly right.
and say thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anyways, thank
Shout
you.
out to Joe from Team Group.
Yeah, shout out to Joe from Team Group. We miss you, bro. Yeah, thanks for watching.